So many of us who smoke are absolutely convinced that a cigarette is the best way to deal with stress. But what if that feeling of calm is actually just a really convincing trick? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on that illusion. You know the feeling, right? It's been a brutal day. You just got into an argument. You're just completely overwhelmed. Your chest gets tight. Your mind is racing a million miles an hour. And in that moment of pure chaos, your brain just serves up this one familiar solution. Yeah, it's almost not even a thought, is it? It's more like a reflex, a deep automatic command that promises you a quick escape from all that pressure. And the crazy part is, for a few minutes, it really feels like it works. You light up, take that first drag, and there's a wave of calm. That belief is so powerful because the experience, the feeling, is so real. But here's the big question. What if the very thing you're reaching for to get relief is actually a secret source of the anxiety you're trying to escape in the first place? That's the idea we're really going to dig into. Okay, so to understand why this illusion feels so true, we've got to look at this powerful psychological pattern that keeps us stuck. It's called the habit loop. It's a simple four-step process that is incredibly powerful. First, there's the cue. You feel stressed or anxious or angry. Second, the craving kicks in. Your brain screams, "A cigarette will fix this." Third, the response. You go and smoke. And finally, the reward, that little hit of relief, which basically teaches your brain to run the same program the next time you feel stressed. So, if the loop is real, where's the deception? Where's the lie? Well, let's take a look at what's actually going on inside your brain when you feel that so-called relief. This right here, this is the whole magic trick explained. On the left, you've got the illusion. Life throws stress at you, you have a cigarette, you feel relief. Simple, but the reality on the right is what's really happening. As a smoker, you're always dealing with a low-level hum of anxiety from nicotine withdrawal. Life stress just turns up the volume on that feeling. So when you smoke, you're not actually relieving the stress from your life, you're just temporarily silencing the withdrawal anxiety that the nicotine itself created. Let that sink in for a second. You're not treating your stress. You are treating a symptom of addiction. And that symptom is a master of disguise. It feels almost exactly like stress. The mental trick is one thing, but the biology? Well, the biology tells an even crazier story. Let's look at what's physically happening inside your body. Okay, so when you're stressed, your body is already in high alert mode, right? You've got stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline pumping, your heart is beating faster, your breathing gets shallow, your muscles are all tensed up. It's classic fight or flight. Now, look what happens when you pour nicotine on top of that already stressed system. It doesn't put out the fire, it throws gasoline on it. Your heart rate goes even higher, your blood pressure spikes, and it dumps more adrenaline into your system. From a purely biological standpoint, you are literally adding more physical stress on top of your emotional stress. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The addiction itself sets a small fire. That's the withdrawal anxiety. Then, when you smoke, you briefly put out that little fire, and your brain throws a party, thinking you're a hero, all while ignoring the fact that the real house, your actual life stress, is still burning down around you. Okay, so if smoking is the arsonist and not the firefighter, what does real relief actually look like? What are the things that genuinely calm your body down without feeding an addiction? You know, the funny thing is, the part of smoking that actually works has nothing to do with the smoke. It's the deep breath you take. And you can get that and so much more from just taking a short walk, having a moment of silence, or even just doing a good stretch. These things truly calm your nervous system instead of just winding it up tighter. So here's a little experiment for you. Next time you feel that stress cue hit, just pause. Before you do anything, take 5 slow, deep breaths. And as you're breathing, try to see if you can feel the difference between the emotion of stress and the physical craving for nicotine. They're not the same thing. Then ask yourself, what do I really need right now? Do I need this cigarette, or do I just need a pause? And then just watch. You might be amazed to feel that craving just fade away on its own. All of this is building up to the final and honestly the most life-changing part of all of this, the mindset shift that breaks the whole illusion apart for good. Because when you start practicing that pause, when you survive that moment of stress without smoking, this little light bulb just flicks on in your head, and you start to realize something profound. You never actually needed it.
What you really needed was just a little bit of space from whatever was overwhelming you.
You needed a moment of stillness to let your racing mind just calm down. And at the most basic level, you just needed to breathe. The cigarette was never the solution. It was just a ritual you built around these totally normal human needs. And that's the ultimate twist in the story. You begin to see that the cigarette was never solving the problem. It was just adding another layer of problems on top. And when you see that clearly, stress is no longer a trigger to smoke. It becomes your teacher, reminding you of what you really need: a pause, a breath, and the freedom from the illusion.